They say in life never to judge a book by its cover, and that seems rather apt for the PlayStation 5, Sony's latest console. Gaudy, obnoxious and damn right ghastly on the outside. On the inside though, something beautiful lies. Something not just inherently powerful, but something incredibly agile as well. While we're on the subject of sayings, the old adage that all good things come in small packages is a lie. Sometimes they come in oversized plastic packages if the PS5 is any indication. The PlayStation 5's innards are mightily impressive, boasting a 3.5GHz 8-core 16-thread CPU with 16GB of GDDR6 RAM, a 10.3 teraflop GPU and a custom-built SSD. While it might not be as powerful on paper as the Xbox Series X, it doesn't really feel like it at all. What that essentially means is super fast load times, and when we say super fast we mean ridiculously fast, amazing 4K visuals with ray tracing and the like, and stable and more importantly higher frame rates. Unfortunately, while the Series X is whisper quiet, the PlayStation 5 is not so much. We're not talking the PS4 Pro fans worrying like it's about to take off here, but there's a distinctive hum when the console is on. From an OS perspective, the PS5's new UI is severely lacking when it comes to simple dashboard and OS functionality. The fact that out of the box you can't move PS5 games to external storage, even simply for storage and not necessarily for playing, is a massive oversight on Sony's part, especially considering the fact that there's only 667.2GB of usable storage space, which in this day and age of 100GB games is absolutely nothing. Yes, we know it's coming, but the fact that it's not there on launch is a wee bit mind-blowing. In fact, the whole UI and functionality of the dashboard remains somewhat antiquated and archaic. There's no quick resume or equivalent, the cloud service has been improved, but still having it as a PS Plus only feature feels like a move from 1999. And we can't believe you can't perform data transfers in the background, instead forced to sit and watch them. So, like we say, it's remarkably archaic and not very next gen at all. Even Sony's cross-gen save solution is something that feels like something from a decade ago. Having to boot up the PS4 to upload our Miles Morales save in-game rather than using the PS4 cloud saves just doesn't feel very next-gen at all. And all of this is without talking about the numerous bugs it carries and the mess that is Sony's approach to cross-gen games. It's all terribly confusing. Despite the rumours prior to launch that Sony's backwards compatibility wouldn't be up to speed with its competitors, it turns out that's not true at all. Most, if not all, of the previous generation games benefit from the custom SSD, but those with dodgy frame rates such as Anthem and Darksiders 3 benefit from the PS5's raw power. Turns out all BioWare needed to do to fix Anthem technically was to have it work on a new console. Then there's the PS Plus collection titles, some of which benefit from the added might of the PlayStation 5, like Days Gone for instance, which now runs at a whopping 4K 60. Only a few of these titles have received real benefits for now, but we hope that game boost patches will come to further games in the coming weeks and months. Where the PlayStation 5 excels though is where it has excelled for the back half of the previous generation, in its games. Its games are that good that we almost let Sony off for how dated its UI and OS is, and the PlayStation 5 era seems to be no different. Well, at least it certainly started that way. While Microsoft failed to muster one launch day console exclusive, Sony managed a handful. And not only did it manage a handful, but a few of those can already be classed as absolute gems. First up, you have Spider-Man Miles Morales, a wonderful follow-up to Insomniac Games' most excellent Spider-Man game. And whilst it's more of the same, it's more of the same. The same as PS4's fantastic Spider-Man game from 2018. What else do you need to know? Other than it's set in winter in New York, so the city feels and looks differently, and then there's a Spidey cat. Then on top of that there's Demon's Souls, the incredibly difficult but wonderfully satisfying and dazzling Souls-like. And we say Souls-like, but this is the granddaddy of them all, the original Souls-like. And it remains every bit as unforgiving as it is visually stunning this time around. And finally, from out of left field, there's Astro's Playroom, a short bundled piece of software that comes pre-installed with every PS5. Turns out it's bloody delightful. What you might have perceived to be a simple tech demo for the new DualSense controller's haptic feedback, adaptive triggers and motion sensors actually turns out to be a fantastic, humorous and nostalgic journey through the history of PlayStation. And let's talk about haptic feedback for a minute, because it is fantastic, even more so than we could ever imagine. In Astro's Playroom you feel every jump, every surface, every impact. It is a fantastic addition to the PS5 and makes a massive difference to some games. That said, while it feels great and at home in a game like Astro, we're not sure whether it could be carried across in a 50-hour RPG without your fingers feeling like they're going to drop off. It also remains to be seen how third-party devs support it. Regardless of that though, it is a genuinely great addition to the PlayStation locker, as is making the controller itself more ergonomic, despite its increased weight. And if those games aren't for you, then there's Godfall, Sackboy: A Big Adventure, Bugsnax and Spider-Man Remastered to consider as well. My point is, PlayStation is the place for games. And while the PS5 console itself might be a bit fugly and the UI is incredibly antiquated and not particularly next gen, it still has the games and the power to bring said games to life. That's all that matters, the games. The PlayStation 4 might have been for the players then, but the PlayStation 5 is very much for the games.